you
Thank you.
back then when you were representing areas of Clay County and the surrounding counties that I've heard great things that you represented them well and interacted with good faith. Moving forward on to how some of those policies from biblical principles may be implicated, you've been passionate both as a legislator and even now for school choice. If you wouldn't mind just defining school choice to your audience, what is it? What does it mean? And explain why you believe that it's actually parents, not governments, who have the primary authority over their children's education.
I entered the General Assembly recognizing the importance of private education, educational options beyond public schools. But I wouldn't have described myself when I entered the General Assembly as someone who was focused, first and foremost and primarily on private education until I came into the General Assembly. I ended up finding myself in 2020, so I had been in the General Assembly for almost a year, and I became a member of the Joint Education Committee, which is a committee made up of both Senate and House members, and ended up chairing that committee for the duration. We have co-chairs, so the House would have a chair and the Senate would have a chair, and then you work together, and depending on the cycle, you either take the lead or you're secondary. But I ended up as a co-chair for the Joint Education Committee for a period of 5 years. And if you think about it, Harrison, the time that I was serving in that capacity was during some very tumultuous time. 2020, 2021, 2022, and 23, and so on. When parents began to see in a very obvious way what was actually being taught in public schools, they came unglued, right? I mean, they were beside themselves, and I would say rightfully so. They were being stonewalled by school boards. They were being stonewalled by central office administration, by building administration. They were being put off by teachers. Not every school district was the same, but I will tell you this, sometimes we're far too quick to assume that the problem exists only in your larger school districts. That's just simply not the case. What we have to remember is our teachers are going to college before they become teachers. They graduate out of public school and they go to a teaching college. They'll go to a university that has a school of education, and they spend 4 years earning a degree in education to come out and pick up a teaching opportunity at a school district near you, right? And they bring the ideology that they themselves have adopted while they were in public schools themselves, as well as universities. And they bring that right into the classroom. These issues exist in school districts that are very small rural districts, as well as some of your largest districts in the state of Missouri. So when I began to see these issues emerge, I began to recognize that what I brought with me into the General Assembly, which was a respect for educational options, private schools, whether they're Christian parochial schools or homeschool, that respect for those options took a different, became a different focus. I began to see that they were a much needed correction to what many students were being exposed to. So we're talking about everything from gratuitous sexualized materials, even in elementary schools. There were times where I would be receiving pictures from individuals in different school districts. Sometimes even a teacher or a school board member would say, "This is what we just discovered. You have got to help us get this taken care of." And I was embarrassed to even have that on my phone. The images that were in the books, that again, we're talking gratuitous sexualized material with very graphic both depictions and text that were being put in front of children, right? And this was happening. And to this day, we still have far too many school districts in the state of Missouri, in a red state, that are protecting students' access to that kind of smut, right?